welcome once again to the 1998 National Science and Maths Quiz Program. It has come to this, that is the finals of this particular competition. And we expect to have an exciting match between Achimota School and St. Peter's. This is because the first year that we held the Math and Science Quiz Program, Achimota did very well and went all the way to the finals. St. Peter's didn't even participate. When St. Peter's appeared, they keep making progress, but they have never been, not even in the semifinals. And so today, they are into the finals. So of course, they are determined to win, and so is Achimota School. So we expect a very exciting contest.
From Amstel, the world-famous house of quality, comes Amstel Malta.
Looking good and feeling good.
Amstel Malta, the original non-alcoholic low-sugar malt drink with a fantastic taste. Keeps you trim and shapely. Amstel Malta. Specially made with a low-sugar formulation for you to enjoy again and again. Amstel Malta, for the pleasure of looking good and feeling good.
For the pleasure of looking and feeling good.
Amstel Malta.
For the pleasure of looking and feeling good.
Welcome back, viewers, to this final contest between Achimota School in the Greater Accra region and St. Peter's in the Eastern region. Now to the introduction of the contestants. Achimota School is to my right and represented by
Kujasiruju SS3.
Harold Cheche SS3. Norwes Agreko SS3.
St. Peter's is on my left and represented by
Owusu Ansa Michael SS3.
Larry Atta SS3.
Asari Bidiakon Bala SS3.
Well, now to the rules of the competition. We are going to have 5 rounds of competition, and at the beginning of each round, the rules for that round will be announced. The question that I will pose is to the school, so any of the contestants from that school can answer the question. We'll start with round 1, and here are the rules for round 1. Most of the questions in this round do not involve calculations. The contestants have 15 seconds within which to give me an answer. For the few questions that involve calculations, the contestants will have 30 seconds within which to give me an answer. In either case, a correct answer is worth 3 points. If the answer is not correct, I may pass the question on to the other school for a bonus point of 1 if they get it correct. These are the rules for round 1. As in all rounds, the contestants are answering questions in biology, chemistry, physics, and mathematics. We are ready to go. I'll start with the school on my right. Achimota School. What name is given to the main axis of a compound leaf or the main shaft of a feather? Harold?
Ratchets.
Well, rackets or rackets. St. Peter's. What name is given to the light-sensitive pigment found in the rods of the retina? Michael?
Bishop Apple.
Yeah, or rod. Achimota School. On the basis of the kinetic theory of matter, distinguish between heat and temperature. Kwajo?
Heat is that form of the energy which, when supplied to a body, causes an increase in the average kinetic energy of the molecules. But temperature is simply a measure of the hotness or coldness of a body, which is actually directly proportional to the average kinetic energy.
No. St. Peter's for a bonus. Larry?
It is that form of energy that is supplied to increase the temperature of the molecules, but the temperature depends on the velocity or the kinetic energy of the molecules.
No, that's not different from. Well, I said on the basis of the kinetic energy, okay? So for that, heat is the measure of the total kinetic energy of the individual molecules in a gas or a system. But the temperature is the average kinetic energy of the individual molecules. So it's the total amount of kinetic energy as opposed to the average. St. Peter's, distinguish between fluorescent and phosphorescent materials. Ballard.
A fluorescent material converts high energy radiations into light immediately, whilst a phosphorescent body converts high energy radiation and give it out as light later on.
No. Michael.
A fluorescent material produces light without producing heat, but phosphorescent light absorbs light that is incidental on it and later on radiated as light rays.
Kojo for a bonus.
A fluorescent body is one which converts a high energy radiation into a lower, into one of lower, into one of the lower. Okay, I'm sorry, but and it emits it at the instant that that high energy radiation is incident. But the phosphorescent body actually absorbs the high energy radiation and then is still able to transmit it even after the high energy radiation has been cut off from it.
Well, that's more or less for a bonus. I think I'll give him a bonus. The difference is that after you remove the source of light, the phosphorescent molecule will still give you some light. So that's the difference between the two. They are both emitting light, but the other one, even when you have removed it, you still have some. So I got a semblance of that for a bonus. Achimota. This preamble is to both schools. The water molecule can be oxidized or reduced by donating or accepting electrons. The water molecule itself can be oxidized or reduced by donating or accepting electrons. Achimota School, give the products when water is oxidized. Kwejo?
Hydrogen and oxygen.
Yeah, hydrogen and oxygen. St. Peter's, give me the products when water is reduced. Larry?
Hydroxide ions and hydrogen ions.
Yeah. Achimota, find the truth set of the following equation. 4x squared is equal to 12x. Harold.
X is 0 or X is 3.
X is 0. St. Peter's, find the truth set of the following equation. X squared minus 7x minus 8 equals 0. Larry.
X equal to 8 or X is equal to minus 1.
Yes. Achimota School. Chloroethanoic acid is a stronger acid than ethanoic acid. Why?
The Cl atom is going to attract electrons from the OH bond by
that's enough.
By inductive.
St. Peter's. The benzene molecule, although unsaturated, cannot be reduced readily. Why? Yes, Larry.
This is because it is resonance stable.
It's resonance stable. Achimota, with what would you associate tendrils?
With leaves or stems which are modified for climbing on.
Yeah. On St. Peter's, when the tendril of a climbing plant comes into contact with a solid object, it responds by twining or curling around it. What is this phenomenon called? Michael?
Twining.
Oh, no. Achimota for a bonus. Norbert?
Thigmotropism.
Thigmotropism. Achimota School. What is meant by a series circuit? Kwadwo?
It's a circuit in which the positive of one component has been connected to the negative of a different component.
St. Peter's for a bonus. Larry?
It is an arrangement of the cells in which the positive terminal of one cell is connected to the negative of the other.
It's the same as what Achimota is saying. No. Well, we thought that this question was too easy for a final. Obviously not. It is a series circuit. Is that where the cells, resistors, all the components in the circuit are joined in one pathway with no branches. That is the kind of definition that we wanted. We didn't want it to use series, but all of these are in the same pathway. St. Peter's. What is parallax? Ballard?
Is the apparent change in the relative position of an observer due to the change in the position of observer and the source?
Change due to the position of, I didn't hear the
Due to the relative positional change of the source and the observer.
Achimota School. Arrange the following fractions in an increasing order of magnitude. 5/11, 6/13, 3/7. Kwadwo?
3/7, 5/11, and 6/13.
Yeah. St. Peter's. Arrange the following fractions in a decreasing order of magnitude. 3/5, 2/3, and 4/7. Ballard?
2/3, 3/5, and 4/7.
Yeah. Viewers, that brings us to the end of round one. We have a very nice final going, a very close race indeed. And here are the scores at the end of the first round. St. Peter's has 18 points. Achimota has 20 points. We move on to round two, where the questions, most of them are applied in nature because we want now to evaluate the contestants' ability to utilize the science that they have learned or recognize it in everyday life. Most of the questions in this round also do not involve calculations, and the contestants have 15 seconds within which to give me an answer. There are a few which involve calculations, and for those, the contestants will have 30 seconds within which to give me an answer. For each type of question, a correct answer is worth 3 points or 1 point if it's a bonus. So good luck to both of you. This time, I'll start with St. Peter's. St. Peter's, in an entrance examination, each question has 4 possible answers. A candidate answers 3 questions by guessing. Find the probability that all 3 answers are wrong. Larry?
27/64.
27/64. Now, the preamble is the same to Achimota. An entrance exam, each question has 4 possible answers. A candidate answers 3 questions by guessing. Achimota School, find the probability that all 3 answers are correct. Norbert?
1/64.
1/64. St. Peter's. When a person spins round in one direction several times and then stops suddenly, he or she feels dizzy. Explain why. Yes, Michael.
This is because when one is spinning around, the balancing in the ears changes. Therefore, the person feels dizzy.
No. Achimota for a bonus. Kweju.
When one is spinning around in a particular direction, the fluid in the inner ear will have the tendency to also move in that particular direction. So even if that person stops, that fluid will still be in motion, and like that causes the distance.
That's good. Achimota School. The 3 semicircular canals, which are responsible for balance and posture, are arranged at right angles to each other. What do you think is the physiological importance of this arrangement? Kweju?
This enables balancing in all directions.
In all directions. St. Peter's. When the brakes of a car are applied, the car goes through a certain distance before it comes to rest. The distance is called the stopping distance. Give me 2 factors which make up or contribute to the stopping distance. Yes, Larry.
The force that is retarding it, that is the deceleration, that is the force that is retarding it, and the friction of the road.
No. Yes, Ballard.
The retarding force due to the braking of the brake system of the car, which increases the friction between the tires of the car and the floor, brings the car to a stop, and also due to the tendency of the body to resist motion or change in motion.
No. Let me give you 1 out of 3. No, the frictional force doesn't come in, but you're trying to stop this. The distance traveled during the reaction time of the driver. The driver has a reaction time that contributes to it. And then the distance traveled during the deceleration. So that's why you mentioned something about the deceleration. That's why I give you 1 out of 3. Achimota School, a bar magnet is dropped into a coarse iron filings. To which part or parts of the magnet are most filings attracted, and what does this observation reveal? Norbert.
At the poles. This is because the magnetic flux density is greatest at the poles.
Yeah. St. Peter's. You can preserve food by freezing as well as by drying. Okay. What is common in these 2 processes of food preservation? Michael.
Preserving food by freezing is to kill microbes which die at low temperatures. And preserving food by drying is to kill microbes which die at high temperatures.
Larry.
Both methods do not give avenue for bacterial development.
Why not? I said, what is common? I mean, why not? Okay, let me give you 1 out of 3 then. Of course, any form of preservation will not give the bacteria a chance. So that's why, I didn't accept it. But at least the concept, forgetting that I give you out of 3. Both, although it's drying and freezing, both, you are just removing the water. When you dry, you just take the water out. So the bacteria doesn't have any, you can't live without water. And when you are freezing, you also just take the water out by freezing. Okay. Achimota School. You can preserve food by salting and by freezing. So what is common to these 2 processes of food preservation? Kweju?
They both inhibit the action of the microorganisms which cause decay by creating conditions which are not suitable for their embryo.
Well, that's a smart answer, so I'll give you 1 out of 3 too. It's the same kind of, when you salt, the salt actually by osmosis just drags the water out. So again, you are not making water available to the microorganisms. St. Peter's. Freshwater fish have numerous well-developed glomeruli in their kidneys, while marine fish have only a few glomeruli. What do you think is the significance of this in terms of osmoregulation? Michael?
Freshwater fishes have many or more glomeruli because to prevent the absorption of water from its body to the water. But salty fishes have less glomerulus to enable less water in the system.
No. Larry?
The marine fishes have got a smaller number of glomerulus because the water that they take in is concentrated because of the salt and other things present in the water. But the freshwater fish have got smaller number because for more osmoregulation, because the water that they take in is just water, and there are a few.
It's not so. Okay, let me give you 2 out of 3. Well, I didn't give you full marks, you see, because once the fish is in the fresh water, of course, by osmosis, it's getting so much water by osmosis into the body, because compared to the body's concentration of nutrients, you will send the water in. So there's more work to be done and so on, but the way you put it doesn't quite merit that. That's why I took 1 out of 3. Achimota School. It is difficult to make out colors in dim light. Explain why.
The eye are responsible for color vision, and they do not function in the dim light because.
St. Peter's, can the impulse of a force be 0 even if the force is not 0? And explain why or why not.
It can be 0 when even if the force is not 0, because the time could be 0, and impulse is force times time.
No. Michael?
It can be 0 because even as you apply a force to an object and the body does not move with a velocity, that body can have an impulse of 0.
Let me, you said velocity. No, okay, let me give you 2 out of 3. No, see, it's not the same as, see, for example, if you push against a wall, there's force exerted. But if the wall doesn't move, then the change in momentum, which is the impulse, will be 0. It's not really quite the same. So I gave you 2 out of 3. Achimota School. It is common experience of bicycle riders. I don't know how to ride a bicycle, so I don't know this. It's a common experience of bicycle riders that when the dynamo of the bicycle is made to touch the wheel, usually the back wheel, the light bulb glows feebly when the bicycle moves slowly, but shines brightly when the bicycle moves faster. When the bicycle stops moving, the light goes off. Can you explain what causes this?
When the dynamo touches the wheel, there's a coil which is caused to rotate in a magnetic field, and that induces some current to pass
that's
through
enough. He knows what he's talking about. St. Peter's. What is the black thin rod in pencils made of? And I'll take only 1 answer. What is the black thin rod in pencils made of? Larry?
Lead or graphite.
Clay and graphite. Clay and graphite. Why we call it lead pencil, I don't know. But it's clay and graphite. Achimota School. Name the 2 hydrides formed by oxygen. Harold?
H2O and H2O2.
Yeah, water and hydrogen peroxide. Well, viewers, that answer brings us to the end of round 2. At the end of the second round, Achimota has taken a lead. Here are the scores. St. Peter's has 30 points and Achimota has 43 points. We come to round 3, which we call the problem of the day. In this round, both schools are working out a problem and providing us with a solution. We give them 3 minutes within which to solve the problem of the day. At the end of that period, they come to the board and show us how they solve the problem of the day. We give our own solution, make a comparison, and then award marks. The problem of the day today to the last contest is worth 5 points. And here we go with the problem of the day, a short one. The contestants can turn their sheet on. Viewers, this is the problem. An absent-minded secretary randomly puts 3 letters into 3 envelopes without checking. Find the probability that at least one of the letters will be in the correct envelope. Viewers, this is the problem of the day.
The world-famous house of quality comes Amstel Malta.
Looking good and feeling good.
Amstel Malta, the original non-alcoholic low-sugar malt drink with a fantastic taste. Keeps you trim and shapely. Amstel Malta. Specially made with a low-sugar formulation for you to enjoy again and again. Amstel Malta, for the pleasure of looking good and feeling good.
For the pleasure of looking and feeling good.
Amstel Malta.
For the pleasure of looking and feeling good.
Welcome back, viewers, to the solutions that we have for you to the problem of the day. So I'll ask one person from each of the 2 schools to go up to the board and show us how they solve the problem of the day. Well, viewers, you have the solutions that the 2 schools have on the board. I'll give you our solutions and then we'll make a comparison. Here is an absent-minded secretary who just puts letters in an envelope randomly without checking. And the problem is that the contestants were to find the probability that at least one of the letters will be in the correct envelope. Okay. Now, this is how we solved it. We first figured that the 3 letters may be arranged in the 3 envelopes in 3 times 2 times 1 ways, 6 ways. Okay. So 3 letters may be arranged in 3 envelopes in 6 ways. Then we wanted to find out that how they can be put in the wrong envelope. Okay, because we want to find the probability that at least one will be in the correct envelope. So if you can calculate the probability that some will be in the the probability that they will be in the wrong envelope, then we can subtract that from 1 and get what we require. So if you have 3 letters for 3 envelopes, if you really put E1, E2, E3 for envelopes and then let L1, L2 and so on and work it out, for it to be wrong, E1, envelope 1 should have L2, L3. Envelope 2 should have L3, L1. And envelope 3 should have L1, L2. If you work this out, there are really 2 possible arrangements for putting all 3 letters in the wrong envelopes. There are only 2. So the probability that all letters are in the wrong envelope is 2/6. Okay. So the probability that at least one letter is in the right envelope is 1 minus 1/3. And that gives us 2/3. Okay. Now this is how we solve the problem of the day. The solution from Achimota is on my right. No, if P, none in the 1 minus P is all right for none being in the correct envelope, but none being in the correct envelope to 3 raised to the power 3 is where that's not correct. And so we didn't get a solution. And since it's a final, I'll give Achimota 1 out of 5. St. Peter's solution. Okay. All right, so I'll assume that sample space, whatever that means, is the probability of, how you can arrange these, and they got it to be 6. But after that, the 1/36 was not going to get them anywhere. I don't know how else, what the follow-up was going to be. And so let me give, because of the 6, let me give St. Peter's 2 out of 5. Well, viewers, we move on to round 4. Here, most of the questions involve calculations, and the contestants have 30 seconds within which to give me an answer. A correct answer is again worth 3 points. If the answer is not correct, I may pass the question on to the other school for a bonus point of 1 if they get it correct. There are a few questions without calculations, and the contestants have 15 seconds to give me an answer to those questions. Good luck to both of you. I'll start with Achimota again. Achimota, in the following, determine, this preamble is to both schools, determine whether the conclusion is a valid deduction from the given statements. Okay, I'll give you statements, and I want you to give me whether, tell me whether the deduction is valid. Achimota, first statement. Every physics student is also a chemistry student. John is a chemistry student, and the conclusion is John is a physics student.
It's not valid.
No, it's not valid. St. Peter's, the same preamble. I gave you 2 statements. I'll give you a conclusion. You should tell me whether the conclusion is valid or not. First statement. In an election, only registered people can vote. Statement 2. Only people aged 18 years or more can register as voters. Statement 3. Kofi cannot vote in the elections. And the conclusion is that Kofi is not yet 18 years old.
It's not valid.
Yeah, it's not valid. Achimota School. 2 motorists leave 2 towns, A and B, 100 kilometers apart at the same time, heading towards each other. The motorist from A leaves A with a speed of 20 kilometers per hour, as the other leaves B at 30 kilometers per hour. If they maintain a steady velocity, Achimota, calculate the time they meet. Norbert?
After 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay. The preamble is the same to St. Peter's. Should I repeat it? You got it? All right. St. Peter's, calculate the distance from A when they meet. Larry?
40 kilometers.
40 kilometers. Again, a common preamble to both schools. Name the enzymes that perform the following. So I'll tell you the function, and you give me the name of the enzyme. I will take only one answer, and I don't pass these statements on. Name the enzyme that performs the following. Achimota school. Catalyzes the hydrolysis of proteins to peptides in the stomach. Harold.
Pepsin.
Pepsin. St. Peter's. Catalyzes the conversion of trypsinogen to its active form, trypsin. Michael.
Eripson.
No. Well, I said I won't take one answer, and I won't pass it on. This is enterokinase. Enterokinase. Achimota. Catalyzes the reaction between carbon dioxide and water in the red blood cells to form carbonic acid. Harold.
Carbonic anhydrase.
Carbonic anhydrase. St. Peter's. Catalyzes the conversion of fibrinogen to fibrin during the clotting of blood. Ballard. Thrombin. Achimota school. Another common preamble. Find the smallest positive integral value of n such that 25 leaves a remainder of 3 when divided by n. Is it? No. Okay. Is your hand up? Could you use your hand up? Yes.
It's equal to 11.
11. Yeah. Find the smallest positive integral value of n such that 49 leaves a remainder of 15 when divided by n. Larry.
17.
17. That brings us to the end of round 4. Achimota is still leading at the end of round 4. Here are the scores. St. Peter's has 44 points. Achimota has 59 points. Well, we've now come to round 5, the last round, which is in 2 parts. The first part deals with riddles. Here I give out clues, and as I keep giving out clues, the contestants from the 2 schools come up with an answer to the item that I'm talking about. The 2 schools are competing for the one to be the first to come up with an answer to the riddle. And so when they are ready to give me an answer, they draw my attention by ringing a bell. The bell from Achimota sounds like this, and the bell from St. Peter's sounds like this. So they draw my attention. I give them a chance to answer the riddle. If the answer is correct, when I have given out only 1 clue, the school gets 5 points. A correct answer with 2 clues, the school gets 4 points. A correct answer with any other number of clues, the school will get 3 points. But if in their attempt to give me an answer, they are not successful, then the school is out of contest for that particular riddle. They wait and come back when we have a new riddle. So these are the rules for the first part of round 5. Good luck, St. Peter's. Good luck, Achimota. Here's our first riddle. I am a number. To be precise, I'm a set of identical triplets. The sum of my digits is even, and I am myself even. The sum of my digits is also divisible by 9. In the book of Revelations,
666.
666. To our next riddle. I am a defect or a defect. I am caused by the geometry of a spherical surface. You shouldn't raise your hand, you should ring the bell. Kojo?
It's astigmatism.
No. Larry?
Spherical aberration.
Spherical aberration. Our third riddle. I am slippery, but not a liar. I am also soft, but cannot be taken for granted. Together with one brother, we are basically the two forms of the same element. Whilst my valence orbitals are sp2, his are sp3.
It's
Write it and let somebody say it.
graphite.
Graphite. For viewers, to our last riddle. I am a term used in biology and physics. I'm also quite often referred to outside science, where I am used to describe the sudden desire to do something without thinking of the consequence. Viewers, we've come to the second half of round 5. Here I make statements, and a statement to each school, and the school should tell me whether the statement that I have made is true or false. The school has 10 seconds within which to give me an answer. If the answer is correct, the school gets 2 points. But if the answer is not correct, then we deduct 1 point from the marks that they have already earned. Because they may not want to lose marks, they can opt not to answer whether the statement is true or false, in which case I pass the statement on to the other school for 2 points if they get it correct, or -1 if they don't. Well, I wish you both luck, even at this stage. I go back and start with St. Peter's, and this is our first statement to St. Peter's. A trapezium has 2 pairs of parallel sides. Larry?
False.
False. Achimota School. The diagonals of a rectangle bisect at right angles. Norbert?
False.
False. St. Peter's. The process whereby the genetic information on a DNA strand is transferred to a messenger RNA is called translocation. Michael?
False.
False. Achimota School. The hepatic portal vein carries blood from the aorta to the liver. Norbert?
False.
False. St. Peter's. All nuclei that are found in nature are stable. Larry?
False.
False. Achimota School. All nuclei with mass number greater than 210 are unstable. Norbert?
True.
Yeah. Yes, St. Peter's. The net of a hollow cone is a sector of a circle. Larry?
True.
True. Achimota School. The net of a hollow cylinder is a rectangle. Norbert?
False.
Norbert, true. St. Peter's. Phototaxis is the movement of a plant part in response to light. Larry?
True.
Michael has already explained to him why he got it wrong, so I don't have to do it. Phototax is the movement of a cell or a unit organism. Achimota School. Mutation is the sudden or spontaneous change in a gene or chromosome. Norbert?
True.
True. St. Peter's. The acceleration of an object on a vertical spring is inversely proportional to the mass of the object. Larry?
False.
False. Achimota. If a radioactive atom emits a beta particle, the mass number of the atom decreases by 1. Harold?
False.
False. We are down to our last two statements, viewers. Last two statements. Last statement to St. Peter's. The polarizing power decreases with the size of the ion, whereas polarizability increases with the size of an ion. Larry?
True.
True. Last statement to Achimota School. Acid-base indicators are organic acids or bases. Norbert?
True.
True. Well, viewers, we have come to the end of this final contest in the 1998 Science and Maths Quiz program. And here are the scores. St. Peter's had 59 points. Achimota had 80 points. Viewers, we finally came to the end of this year's contest, and yes, Achimota won, but I don't know whether you saw St. Peter's clapping and congratulating themselves. I think they deserve to congratulate themselves, even though they lost with a difference of 21 points. A job well done.
As always, every good thing must come to an end. 29 weeks of very, very keenly contested competition has finally come to an end, and I must congratulate this year's champions, Achimota School. If you would remember, Achimota won the first Southern Sector competition. That was in 1994, but failed against Prempeh when they met in the Champion of Champions. This year, it's like a reversal of rules. Achimota sent Prempeh home very early and ended the dispute as to who was who. Achimota are the champions now. And I think for the two schools that met at the end of it all, we could say these are the dream teams. St. Peter's, as someone said, have dribbled around the touchline, slowly inched their way towards the penalty area, and sent almost everybody home apart from Achimota. And that is a great feat indeed. So, St. Peter's, congratulations. You have done extremely well, and I don't think that when you go up the mountain, you would feel any shame. It has been a great, 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 great battle. You've done very well. I'd like to call the Director of Secondary Education to give us a brief address. Madam Afoble.
Heads of schools, teachers, students, our TV crew, organizers of this program, ladies and gentlemen. All too soon we've come to the end of another very interesting quiz session. In fact, when the students started coming in, I was wondering how the whole thing was going to end. And as somebody said, wait and see. Now we've all seen the end of this program. The main aim for instituting this, I hear, is to help promote the standard and popularity of science and mathematics in our secondary schools. It was also to help to demystify science and maths and encourage learning of the subjects in our schools. To promote a healthy academic rivalry among senior secondary schools. And you can see that it's been very healthy indeed. In fact, you can have schools from the same area pitching together to cheer up another school just because it comes from that area. And it's been very healthy indeed. Some students, when they lost, felt so bad, as you heard, some people had to run away. But this is all part of growing up. It is also to keep all students still interested in their schools and to encourage them to offer help to their alma mater. And this has also been very true. A lot of old students are going back to their schools, finding out what they can do to help have their schools also on television competing. You've had communities also coming in, and these are all very, very healthy signs. So now, I want to touch on all the contestants. I want to say a very big ayiko to everybody who took part in this program. Shall we give everybody a big hand? It takes a lot of courage to say that I will go and compete in this program. Those who left earlier, I hope they are not feeling too bad. You always have to get some experience in certain things and then develop it as you grow. If they had not been here, the winners, I'm sure, wouldn't be enjoying their gains. Somebody has to lose and others have to gain. So to everybody, Ayiko, and here I will make mention of Wesley Girls High School. Don't accuse me of anything, but the fact still remains that it's the first all-girls school that has come up to the semi-final level, and give them a very big hand. This was just a warning signal. The girls are saying that, look out for us. Next year, a girls' school will lift that trophy. Now, to the teachers who have helped these students to prepare, we thank you very much. I know that you've had to bend backwards to get these children prepared, to instill confidence in students that you have clearly seen that they have the ability and can do it, to literally push them on and force them on to do that. One other aspect of this program that I did not mention was that it has helped a lot of students to do a lot of independent study and research, something that is very, very essential if you want to go on to tertiary education. Once you move from the secondary level, a lot of the success of the achievement that you attain will depend on how hard you want to work. There is also an aspect that it has taken a lot of the students away from drugs and other antisocial acts. To really do this, you need to sacrifice your time and be disciplined. And if you are sacrificing and want to lead a disciplined life, then you have no time for drugs, you have no time for alcohol. And I wish we can have more of these so that we can have meaningful time for our youth and help them to grow up into healthy beings to take our places when we are gone. Thank you very much.
We would like to call on the Director, Girls Education, Madam Pomri, to present to Wesley Girls High School a check for 1 million cedis. And for the third prize, a check for 1.5 million cedis goes to Presec. Now the second prize, St. Peter's from Nkwetia. Would your headmaster or the science, head of science, or whoever brought you in here, please come up. Check is for 2.5 million cedis. And now to the champion. Achimota has struggled all these years to take this cup. And I think it shows that perseverance conquers at last. And that is what Achimota has proven today. And to present their prize, the Director, Secondary Education, would make the presentation to the headmistress or her representative. And Achimota's prize, 3.5 million cedis.
And so we close the curtains on this year's National Science and Maths Quiz program. And until we come your way, I must say before I round up, congratulations to Achimota School. And until we come your way again, this has been your quiz mistress, Marianne Ramadi.